Hi, 7th grade. This video is going to focus on argumentative writing. You have an argumentative essay that is due on Monday, so I suggest you watch this video before you finish it. On this video, I will go over example argumentative essays, especially considering what I saw in class on Thursday. I'm gonna go over several essays, and there's a range in essays, right? There's students that are really good at writing, and there's students that are still developing. So the examples that I'm going to give you are like essays that are really high, and then essays that are lower but still meet the criteria. We'll still get a good grade. So let me start with this one. This one has to do with gaming. So the first thing I want you to know is that there's going to be 5 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one. Okay, so your paragraph must look like this. One suggestion is if you can indent the first line of each paragraph, that'd be even better. It makes it really stand out as 5 paragraphs. Okay, I noticed that some students were breaking up the first paragraph into like their hook was one paragraph, their overview was another paragraph, and their thesis statement was a different paragraph, and that's not what I want. Okay, it should look like this. So again, remember the first paragraph is going to have the hook, overview, and thesis statements. And again, some of you guys are still struggling with the hook because you're like, what do I ask? You can have a question, you can have interesting fact, you can say imagine something. So let's look at this one. This one is a higher essay that will get a higher grade because it has more complex sentence structure. And you'll see what I mean by that in a second. Imagine a world where a kid can build entire cities, solve complex puzzles, and team up with friends from across the globe. Okay, all from their living room. So this is their hook. This is an interesting hook. So here they give a little more context, right? It's not just the typical question, the typical thing like there is an argument about gaming, then present the 2 sides. One thing that I recommend if you're struggling with the overview is simply do something like this. I'll go down here. So you have your hook. For overview, if you're really struggling with the overview, the best thing to do is state something like this. There is an ongoing debate about whatever topic it is, right? For example, uniforms. About uniforms in school, period. Proponents state whatever they state, while opponents say that. So if you're really struggling with the overview, this is the easiest way to do it. Okay, just state what the argument is about, and then the 2 sides. This is the easiest one to do it for overview. And then your thesis statements is going to have your side. What do you think? Okay, for example, uniforms should not be enforced in schools because. Okay, so if you do something like this is like an S+ overview, and your thesis statement obviously is going to be really awesome because you're really good at writing thesis statements. But the overview seemed to be an issue on Thursday. So let's continue with this one. This is the reality of video games today. And then here you see how there it is right here. There's a widespread debate about whether video games are good or bad for children and teenagers. And then it says proponents, people that support it, argue that the video games help develop important mental skills like problem solving, memory, and critical thinking. They also claim that games, so here they have even more. What are these people saying about games? They also claim that games can reduce stress by helping young people build social connections with friends. And then they talk about the opponents. While opponents argue that video games can lead to addiction, poor physical health, and aggressive behaviors. So this is all overview. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, doggy. This is all overview. It mainly starts here. So that what I highlighted. Actually, no, it's this right here. This is the overview. Okay, and then they have their thesis statements that I'm gonna color in. Let's see what color I do. This yellow. Despite these concerns, so despite these concerns, so you see how they're taken aside already? This is the thesis statement. Despite these concerns, video games are beneficial for young people. So here they answer the question, are they beneficial or not? This person saying yes, they are, and they have two reasons, because they improve cognitive abilities and provide important opportunities for social interaction. So this is a great intro paragraph. Now, let's look at their first body paragraph, which would be this one. So this one's going to be their first reason. This is going to be their first reason, or first topic sentence, which is their thesis and their first reason. First, video games are beneficial for young people because they improve cognitive ability. Great topic sentence. I'm gonna put this red. And then they have their evidence. In source one, it states video games may be associated with better cognitive performance in children. So you see how this evidence actually supports the topic sentence? Now, I would have liked this evidence to be a little more expansive. Instead of saying, because it looks like the reason is just from the evidence. It's like straight up evidence. So sometimes this evidence is like an S, maybe S minus, because it doesn't really show how it improves cognitive ability. It just states it improves it, but doesn't show how. This study from the National Institute of Health shows that children who play video games perform better on tests involving attention and memory compared to children who do not play games. But the thing is that this evidence doesn't really say that. I wish that this person's paraphrasing some of the evidence. The research suggests that gaming actually helps train the brain to solve problems and think quickly. Let's see how they do. This body paragraph has two pieces of evidence. You only need one, but if you have two per paragraph, per body paragraph, you might be able to get an M plus. In source two, it states, I would have had a transition word here in addition. Studies show that children who play for 2 or more hours daily often perform better in problem solving and learning compared to those who do not. I think this evidence is awesome, right? This evidence demonstrates that gaming is not just entertainment, but can actually make young people smarter. Games require players to think. This is a great elaboration. Think strategically, remember information, and make quick decisions, all of which strengthen the brain. When young people practice these skills through gaming, they can apply them to schoolwork and real life solutions. This is a great paragraph, this part. The first evidence is not so hot. Now, here, second, video games are beneficial for young people because they provide important opportunities for social interaction. One thing that I would have done here is, in addition to, I would have said, in addition to improving cognitive abilities on children, video games also provide important opportunities for social interaction. See how we're saying, in addition to this first reason, I'm going to tell you a second reason. In addition to providing cognitive abilities in children, video games also provide important opportunities for social interaction. So people that usually don't interact with others, if you have a student or a kid that doesn't really know how to make friends easily, this is a good way for them to make friends. That's what this argument is saying. In source 2, it says video games have replaced traditional board games for many families. However, multiple gaming allows parents and children to interact, promoting family bonding while keeping them engaged and active. So here, I think that they're talking about how this is. I don't know if I would like this evidence, because this evidence is saying how kids can interact with their family members. Yeah, I would disagree with that. I don't want to interact with my son or my daughter just through gaming. I want to interact with them like in person. This shows that gaming can bring families together rather than isolating children. Many gamers today are designed for multiple players. So let's look at the second one. In source 3, it states, the main benefit of playing video games involves enhancing mental skills that include problem solving and logic. Ooh. Beyond just problem solving alone, games teach teamwork and communication when players must work together to win. Young people learn to cooperate, share strategies, and support each other during gameplay. These social skills are valuable in school. Okay, that makes sense. I hear this talking about social interactions, and you learn how to work with people. I think that's what they're arguing. This paragraph is weaker, I think. This paragraph is definitely weaker. Now, let's look at their counter argument paragraph. Remember, the counter argument is where you introduce the other side. You have a concession when you say that's a fair point, and then you attack it. Some believe that video games are harmful because they can cause addiction and lead to poor physical health. This is a valid concern. Say why it's a valid concern. Because spending too much time on screen can reduce physical activity and can cause health problems. However, these problems occur mainly when gaming is done without limits or balance. Good rebuttal. In source 2 it states, the AAP recommends limiting gaming to 1 or 2 hours per day. This evidence shows that health organizations have already established guidelines to prevent negative effects of gaming. When parents follow these recommendations and set reasonable time limits, young people can enjoy the benefits of gaming without experiencing addiction or health issues. So yes, video gaming can be a problem, but only if it's done with unlimited time. And here we're going to have the concluding paragraph. The concluding paragraph is going to start with the thesis statements, with the reasons, but done in a different way. Now here, what they did was they broke it up into 2 sentences. Okay, and that's fine. In conclusion, video games offer significant advantages for young people when used responsibly, right? So here they're restating their thesis, and then they're gonna have their 2 reasons here. Gaming strengthens cognitive skills like problem solving, memory, and critical thinking, while also creating opportunities for social bonding and teamwork. Although concerns about addiction and physical health are important, these issues can be managed through parental oversight and reasonable time limits. So here again, they go into like the summary of key points. And here we have this thing called the wish for the world, or the big takeaway. As technology continues to advance, society should embrace that positive potential of gaming while teaching young people to use it wisely and in moderation. Okay. Now let's look at the one that's a little more simpler. Do you like to play video games? It's a simple question, right? Many kids do. So here, you see how much shorter this paragraph is than the other one? This is the same topic, but this one's simpler. It has less complex sentence structure. There's a big debate. So here they talk about what the debate is, right? There's a big debate about video games. Some people talk about what some people are saying. So you see how this is, it's much simpler, right? Some people think video games are good. They say that video games help kids think better and make friends. Other people think that video games are bad. They say that video games can make kids unhealthy and keep them inside too much. So this is their overview, right? You see how much simpler it is, but it's still fine if you're struggling. Now, if you're one of those students that is not struggling, then you need to push yourself beyond this. And then they have their thesis. Video games are good for young people because they help kids get smarter and help kids make friends. Okay, again, much more simpler. We don't say, we just don't say they get smarter. We can say something like it helps them develop their cognitive abilities. Video games are good for young people because they help kids get smarter. In source 1, so they state their source, video gaming may be associated with even better cognitive performance in children. That's their evidence. They have their elaboration. Then they have a second sentence. Studies show that children who play 2 or more video hours daily often perform better at problem solving and learning compared to those who do not. And then again, I suggest that you use that strategy that I showed you just now. In addition to that first reason, you have the second reason. Again, this is going to be their second topic sentence. This is not a really good one though, in either of them, in either essays, because here they're talking about make friends, but here this evidence is talking about families. Yeah, so this this topic sentence needs to change or the evidence needs to change. And then we have, that's their paragraph. And then we have their counter argument. Some people think that video games are bad because kids might play too much and not exercise. This is a good point because kids need to run and play outside to stay healthy. However, video games are only bad if you play them all day long. So again, respond to the counterclaim, and then we have the concluding paragraph. Okay, so these are two examples. So this is this will probably get like an S plus because of this second body paragraph. It's an issue. This one will probably get it has everything, so it should get an S plus as well. Okay, but again, make sure that you're pushing yourself to your limit, not doing the bare minimum. Okay, let's look at one more. This one is the most simple one. Do you play video games? Lots of kids play video games. Some people say video games are good. They say games help kids think. They say games help kids play with friends. Other people say video games are bad. They say games make kids sit too much. They say games are not healthy. So this is the context, and then you have your thesis. Video games are good for kids because they make kids smarter and help you play with friends. Again, it has all of it. It's just a very simple essay. And then video games are good for kids because they make you smarter. And then they have their evidence, elaboration. Their elaboration, let's see what they say for elaboration. Kids who play do better on tests. Games make your brain work. I mean, this elaboration is actually not as bad, right? And then you solve problems in games. You remember things in games. In source 2, it says, studies show that children who put the evidence, their elaboration. Games help you learn. Games help you think fast. This helps you in school. So some of you guys might be laughing, be like, oh my God, who writes like this? But there's a lot of us that write like this, right? And that's okay. We're gonna get better. But this is still like a decent, this will probably get you like an S, okay? Because this is very basic. This is like the bare bones. And then their second topic sentence, it has everything. Video games are good for kids because they help you play with friends. They have their evidence and their elaboration. Some people think games are bad. They think kids sit too much. They think kids don't run and play. This is true. Be careful with this because you don't want us to say this is true. You can say something like, this is a fair point. Kids need to move and play outside, but games are only bad if you play all day. And source to it, and it talks about the counter arguments and the conclusion. Okay, now let's look at this one. Are energy drinks dangerous for teenagers? Walking through the halls of any middle school, you will see students clutching brightly colored cans of energy drinks, hoping to power through the long days of classwork, homework, and sports. So this is their hook. It's a good hook. These beverages have become incredibly popular among young people seeking quick boosts of energy and alertness. So here, look, this is what I told you to do. There's a widespread debate about energy drinks and teenagers, right? Always include this. And then talk about the people that agree with them. Proponents argue that energy drinks help students stay awake during busy schedules, improve athletic performance, and provide the energy boost needed to succeed in school and sports, right? So present the arguments. This is the argument, right? This is the debate. Do not include your thesis statement here. Some of you, I noticed that you're including your thesis statement here. You know who you are. Here, you're simply stating what the argument is and the two sides, and you do not say what side you're in yet. Proponents argue that, oh, we did that one already. While opponents argue that energy drinks can contain dangerous high levels of caffeine and sugar, cause serious health problems like heart issues and anxiety, and can lead to addiction and other risky behaviors. Okay, so again, this is all your overview. And then your thesis statement at the end. Energy drinks are dangerous for teenagers because they cause serious physical health problems and create harmful effects on mental health and behavior. Thesis statements. And then if you remember, your next one's going to be your first body paragraph. Again, try to indent these. So let's look at their first body paragraph. Energy drinks are dangerous for teenagers because they can cause serious physical health problems. Great topic sentence. Again, thesis plus first reason. Then they go into their first evidence. In source one, it states energy drinks can also cause irregular heart rhythms and other life threatening heart rhythm changes. Great evidence. This medical evidence from the Seattle Children's Hospital reveals that energy drinks pose real dangers to the cardiovascular system, which is still developing in young kids. The extreme high caffeine content in these beverages force the heart to work harder and faster than it should, which can result in heart palpitations, irregular heartbeats, and dangerous elevated blood pressure. Some teenagers have even experienced cardiac arrest after consuming energy drinks. Beyond heart problems, the excessive caffeine can cause physical symptoms like headaches, dizziness. So just go into it, right? Then we have their second body paragraph. Energy drinks are dangerous for teenagers. So here is more like energy drinks are dangerous for children because energy drinks are dangerous for children because. So just change it up a little bit. And there's a missing transition here. In addition to causing physical health problems, I can't spell. I can't say energy. Energy drinks are dangerous for teenagers because they create harmful effects on mental health and behavior. In source 2, the evidence, in source 2 it says high caffeine intake exacerbates symptoms of anxiety and depression, while the crash that follows the initial drink spike can lead to mood swings and irritability. So again, evidence elaboration. Let's look at their counter argument. Some people believe that energy drinks are not dangerous because they simply provide a convenient source of energy that helps busy teenagers manage their demanding schedule of school, homework, and extracurricular activities. This is a valid concern. So again, this is a valid point. This is a valid concern because teenagers today face tremendous pressures to succeed academically and athletically, and they generally need ways to stay alert and focused. Let's see how they respond. However, the idea that energy drinks are a safe solution is incorrect. In source 3, it states the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that those under 18 consume no more than 100 milligrams of caffeine per day. Yet many energy drinks far exceed this amount in a single serving, some as much as 300 milligrams in a single drink. This evidence from medical experts proves that energy drinks contain 3 times the safe amount of caffeine for teenagers in just one can. The American Academy of Pediatrics, a trusted organization of doctors who specialize in children's health, has thoroughly researched this issue and concluded that caffeine levels in energy drinks are far too high for young people's developing bodies. Rather than providing safe, sustainable energy, these drinks deliver dangerous doses of stimulants that medical professionals explicitly warned against. Teenagers who need more energy should focus on proven healthy solutions like getting adequate sleep, eating nutritious meals, drinking water, and exercising regularly, not relying on beverages that medical experts say are unsafe for this age group. This is a great counterclaim paragraph. And then your conclusion, again, restate your thesis using different words, summarize key points, and then the wish for the world. Now, this one is the same topic, but again, much simpler. Have you seen teenagers drink energy drinks? Many teenagers drink energy drinks to stay awake. These drinks come in bright cans and promise to give you energy. And then here again, there's a big debate about energy drinks. Some people, and then talk about how some people say this and some people say this, right? What are the two sides? And then you state your side. Energy drinks are dangerous for teenagers because they hurt your body, and you can just say they hurt their body and hurt your mind. Here it says your. I hope you guys are getting the idea of what I want in your essay. Again, one thing that I noticed was context was an issue and the hook was an issue. Okay, and that's all I have. Please watch this video before you do your essay. Your essay is due Monday before you return. Be aware that I do run your essay through AI checks to make sure that you're not using AI. This is your work. What I noticed on the interim was that on the previous interim was that students had really, really good narratives, and then on the interim they had really, really weak narratives. So that led me to think that either you were getting help by a family member, um, or you were using AI to create your writing. It's okay to get feedback from people on how to improve your writing, but your writing must be yours. Again, I do use AI to check to see if you used AI. So make sure that you're doing your own work. I prefer that you do your work and you get a low grade, so that I know who to support, and or because some of you guys are using outside resources, and then you have an amazing essay, but that's not who you are. That's not your work, and I don't know how to support you if I think that you're doing a great job. Okay, I try to support everyone as much as I can. You guys are doing great on your work. Please continue to push yourselves. I know this year it's a hard year and there's a lot of work, a lot of homework, um, but it's because we believe in you. Okay, keep working hard.